Hi everyone, I'm Allie with the Potomac Bead Company, and I've been playing around with some of our new beads. These are a new Czech glass bead. These are called pyramid beads, and the pyramid beads have two holes in them. They have a hole going side to side and one right beside it, so it works really well with the two-hole beads. So I'm going to be working with the SuperDuo for this pyramid ring. The pyramids are 12 by 12 millimeters, and they go basically square around. They're pointed on one side, and then they're flat on the other side. So we're going to be working to that for our advantage, because that flat side is going to be right next to our finger. For this project, you're going to need just a couple materials. You need one pyramid bead. Again, it's 12 by 12 millimeter. You need a tube of SuperDuos and 11 OC beads. For my example here, I used the Vintage Alabaster Rose. I used the Lila Vega in the SuperDuo, and I used bronze 11 OC beads. For this example here, I'm going to be using the Jet AB pyramid. I'm going to be using the SuperDuo Aqua Virtual Matte and just SF Black for the 11 OC beads. In addition to beads, you're going to be using 0.006 or 0.008, either will work, of your wildfire beading thread. 2 English beading needles, size 10 is what I prefer. And then to cut my thread and to finish off my project, I use my thread zap to finish it all off. So to start my project, what I've done is I've taken right about 2 feet of my beading thread, and I've attached 2 needles to the ends of that beading thread. So I have 2 needles on 1 piece of thread, lining that up. I'm using green wildfire thread because in the example you'll notice you will see a little bit of the thread on the sides of that pyramid. So I'm going to use a color that's going to match really well with my pyramid bead when I'm working on it. So I have my 2 needles on, and I have just a little bit of a tail on each side. And I'm going to start by putting 1 needle through one hole of my pyramid and 1 needle through the other hole. So I'm running my needles parallel through my pyramid bead. And I'm going to pull my thread down then so that it's equal and that it just, you see it a little bit on the side of that pyramid. To start out this pattern, I'm going to start here with my middle. So I'm starting with my middle, and I'm going to start with my SuperDuo beads basically down the middle, and then I'll come back to the sides and I'll stitch up the sides. For the middle, it's going to start with 2 11 OC beads on each needle, followed by a SuperDuo on each needle. And we're just going to drop that down right next to our project. And there I have the start of it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue by sharing a SuperDuo on my thread and my needles. So my SuperDuos have 2 holes, just like my pyramids. 1 needle is going to go through one hole of my SuperDuo. The other needle is going to go through the other hole of the SuperDuo. And I'm going to push that right along the end of my pyramid, or the end of my thread, to go towards my pyramid. So there I have my SuperDuos on each side with 1 SuperDuo in the middle. It's going to look basically like a peyote stitch of the SuperDuo beads. I'm going to continue this same stitch, going with 1 seed bead or 1 SuperDuo on each side, and then I'm going to pull those together after I put 1 on each side, and I'm going to share the SuperDuo, going again 1 needle through one side, 1 needle through the other side. That's going to be the project, or that's going to be the same thing over and over again that you're doing, and that's going to get you that look right in the middle of your ring there. That's what's going to form the side and the band. Depending on how big you need it to be is going to be how many beads you need to do wide. This ring here that I've made is a size 7 ring, and it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 SuperDuos running down the center line. So if you're looking for a 7, you have 11 that you can use. Also, if you have a ring mandrel and you're not sure exactly what size you need or what size you want to make it, you can always kind of go based on that and slide it onto a ring mandrel as you're working with the band. I'm going to make this one just a tad bit bigger, so I'm going to do probably right about 13 or so SuperDuos right down the middle, but it's just going to continue with that same pattern where you're putting one SuperDuo on each needle and then joining the two needles together through a common SuperDuo. And I'm going to continue that the whole length of my band till I get those 12 or 13 beads on. So I'm done putting on my beads, and I have 12 beads running down the center of my SuperDuos. When I get to the end, I want to make sure that I end with beads on either side of my thread. I don't want to end where I'm sharing a SuperDuo and the threads are going up each side. I want to mimic the other side of my pyramid. So what I'm going to do that next is, to mimic that other side, I'm going to put 2 seed beads on the one needle, oops, and 2 seed beads on the other side. At this point, you're actually done with your SuperDuos. So you don't need too terribly many. It's a nice, inexpensive ring to make since you just use one pyramid and just a couple SuperDuos. Once I have those on, I'm going to join the other side of my pyramid. I'm going to go through the pyramid. The thread that is on the right side of the pyramid is going to stay to the right. Thread on the left stays to the left. Pull that right needle through there. And when I pull them both in, you'll see that band form. So I have that band formation. The needle that's coming out of my pyramid on the right side, I'm going to take back to the left, which will expose the thread a little bit. So I'm going backwards basically. And then the needle that's on the left, I'm going to take over to the other hole, to the right hole, and go through on the right. Give that a nice little tight pull, and that's going to kind of tighten up your project there. Now what we get to do is actually make the sides of the band to kind of pull it all in together. If you wanted this ring to be wider, you could make it wider by adding more SuperDuos and kind of making up for that on the sides, but we're going to keep it nice and narrow. The 3 SuperDuos wide, and 3 peyote stitch wide, is going to make it right about that 12 millimeters of the pyramid, so it's a really good distance. To finish it off, it's very simple. All you're going to do is basically fill in these gaps between my SuperDuo beads. 2 beads are going to fit really nicely in between those gaps. Also, 2 beads are what I use here at the start. Push that one needle out of the way there. So I have 2 beads on, and then I'm going to continue the whole way down this right side, putting 2 beads on in between each of my SuperDuo beads. So 2 of my 11s go on right in between, and they're just going to run right down the line, picking up those empty holes of the SuperDuos that were on the sides here. And again, I'm going to go down the right, and then I'm going to go down the left. But you can see it's starting to take shape there. That's completing that band portion, and I'm going to come the whole way around. Then I'm going to do the same thing on the left-hand side. So I've basically gone around the whole way on the right-hand side here with my 11 seed beads, making for a nice band. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Again, when you're coming out of the pyramid, you're starting on the 11 O's. You're going to put on 2 beads to start. And those are going to run right down there. Get that needle out of the way. And again, 2 beads are going to fit in between each of your SuperDuo beads. So 2 beads go on. And again, I'm going to go right down this line here. Going right through, oops, right through my SuperDuos. And I'm going to continue down this side with those 11 seed beads. So again, I'm finished that other side, and I'm coming right out of the top here of my ring and right next to my pyramid. And just like I did at the start here, I'm going to do 2 beads on the side, on this right side, going through my pyramid with that right needle. I'm going to pick up my left needle here and do 2 beads on the left side. taking it through the pyramid. Oops. Wants to be twisted there, untwist it. And that's going to kind of finish that up. To actually finish the ring, what I'm going to do is just like I did on the other side, I'm going to take the needle that was on the left, go through the SuperDuo on the right, needle on the right, or I'm sorry, the pyramid. I'm going to go through the pyramid on the left. Now you can reinforce this because it is a ring. You can take your thread and go through the whole side again, and then just kind of finish off the same direction and same way that I'm going to. I'm just going to finish it off at this point rather than going back through my whole entire ring. So that's up to you. At this point, all I'm going to do is take my needles off my thread, grab those 2 pieces of thread. I'm going to knot my thread right on the side here of my pyramid. And this is why I said it's important to use a thread that has a nice color match, that you won't see a lot of that coming out of the pyramid. Once I have that knot, you can do a dab of glue, or what I'm going to do is use my burner, and I'm going to burn down my threads, get them nice and short, and then because the thread is conditioned, I can actually burn and fuse those 2 pieces together. And there I have it. That's my little SuperDuo and pyramid ring. They're really, really quick and easy to make. Very simple once you get going. You can make tons of these. And again, all it requires is 1 SuperDuo and a couple, or 1 pyramid and a couple SuperDuos. And most of you probably have 11 sitting at home as well. So you're really not using that much in materials. They're a good ring to sell too, something different that you haven't seen. And really any 2-hole bead would work for this. You would just need to figure out the distance that you would use in seed beads if it's a little bit bigger or a little bit more narrow in size. Hopefully you've learned something when you get a chance to work with the pyramid beads. Most of our stores are starting to carry them. They are, again, a Czech product, and we have them in a bunch of different colors that we're starting to carry, so you can make a lot of different rings and different designs with the pyramids as well. So if you have a chance, check out the rest of our YouTube videos. Also check us out on Facebook at thebeadco.com or potomacbeads.com. And then online, you can also look at our locations page on our website. Visit one of our stores that's nearest you. If you can't get into one of our stores to grab materials, you can also always shop online at thebeadco.com. Thanks a lot for watching, and enjoy playing with some of these great Czech products.